Welcome to the Real World Prepper. Let's talk about your Freedom weekend, shall we? How free are you really? That is a question posed by another YouTuber the other day in a video he did, Guns Coast to Coast. This video we call July 4th and Freedom. How free are you really? What are we celebrating here? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, check out phase one of these ribs. Yes, we are going to celebrate, and what we're celebrating is gathering of family and friends, a July 4th birthday of my good friend Mr. C, as well as the 4th of July. But the video that Guns did has made me think, how free are we? And so when we celebrate this weekend, what are we celebrating really, and what do we need to consider regarding our, air quotes, freedoms, and what it means going forward? What are we celebrating? Because I don't know that we can celebrate complete and autonomous freedom anymore. Perhaps we can celebrate and commemorate what this country was originally designed to be, what it once was. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so just getting the fire going there. Got the old Weber bubble and one of these, whatever you call them. You guys have seen them. It makes quick work of getting a fire going without any lighter fluid. Just stick the paper in the bottom. You guys know this. Let me show you a pro tip. When your fire gets going, and I don't mean there, I mean when you pour out the coals, sprinkle onion powder generously. Nice aroma. Doesn't do a whole lot to flavor the meat in a smoking sense, but just smells good while you're cooking. And of course I do use it on my in my rub rather. But so yeah, what are we celebrating? So the question was asked, like I said, by Guns in an earlier video. And frankly, many of us have probably asked this question if we're really being thoughtful, if we're really being, or if we're really in consideration of where we are today versus where we were even 4 years ago, about our freedoms and how free are we? What freedoms do we have? Guns made several, and let me say this from the get-go. I hate to just constantly refer to, hey, Guns video this and Guns video that, or anybody's, but it's true. It made me think. I actually just had a conversation with him, and we talked a lot about some of this same stuff. And I told him I was going to do a video that kind of, at the very least, was inspired by his to some degree. So we're not the same free nation that we were, right? Like I say, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 10, 50, 100, so on and so forth. Incrementally, as many of you know, or many of you are learning, these freedoms that we call ourselves having have diminished. We're more and more told where we can go, how long we can be there, whether or not we can go somewhere, whether or not we have a right to carry certain personal items with us in a place or not. I'm not even talking about firearms, you know, at a ball game. Let's think about bringing your own drinks, right, to a park for some concert or outdoor concert or ball game or things like that. I mean, there are. I mean, it's you could go on and on. There's so many ways. I'm just scratching the surface here. Trying to pull from immediate brain power, which, quite frankly, it's been a long week, and I'm tired, so there's not a lot of wheels turning up there at the moment, just truth be told. But what I am doing, what my family and I are doing, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to speak for my family. I'll speak to the family on this one in this one regard. We as a family and some friends will be celebrating each other as a family, as friends, as a cohesive group of people who love each other, who want to get together, because this is, you know, a national holiday. Many of us, many of you have a day off outside of just Saturday and Sunday. I myself, I have a day off Monday. We're closed Monday, the business I work for, which I'm thankful for. I mean, I'd rather be off and be paid than not, you know. But we're going to celebrate fellowship, being together, having some good food. Obviously, you'll see some of this later maybe. This is taking place tomorrow on Saturday, assuming this video goes up on Friday. This is when it's being recorded. It's Friday the 2nd right now. But we're going to do this tomorrow at my parents' house with my in-laws and my buddy Mr. C. Like I say, it's his birthday on the 4th, which is Sunday. His 3 kids, 2 are adults, barely, and 1 is nearly an adult, and possibly another person or 2. So this is actually stage 1 of what I'm doing. I'm going to be cooking more slabs tomorrow morning, and we will reconstitute them on low in the oven tomorrow before we eat. But anyway, we're celebrating the fellowship, the getting together, just being with loved ones. You know, I don't get to spend as much time with my family, even some friends, as I'd like to, as I should. So here's an opportunity to do that, celebrate Mr. C's birthday, like I said. But also, I will be reflecting on what this day meant, these many years ago. What the 4th of July, Independence Day, meant. And it was very important. It meant something very important. It was significant. Not to say that all of it was achieved and acquired in a perfectly American, unanimously righteous way, but we achieved it nonetheless as a nation, and we were able to build something. Now, that something has, from the onset, been corrupted and has been continually corrupted ever since. Hence, where we are today. The corruption of this system will continue upon doing fair. The corruption of this system will continue to the point to where it's, frankly, for many of us, it's already unrecognizable, but to the point to where it will be virtually unrecognizable. And of course, if we put our critical thinking caps on, we can all surmise, many of us anyway, that this is by design. This is deliberate. We've talked about this many times. If you're new to this channel, and I know many of you are, this is what we talk about here. We try and address what's going on and why and how we got here. In some cases, we talk about how we might fix it or get away from here. I find myself on the fence, not on the fence, but rather I find myself one day on one side of the fence and one day on the other about my opinions about, do I think we can get it back? Our freedoms, our way of life. When I say our way of life, you know, the news would tell you, the liberal left would tell you, and many Republicans would tell you, I mean, just many people, many woke people would tell you these days that, oh, your way of life, you're talking about your white supremacist way of life? Is that what you mean? How, you know, you think that the country belongs to white people and that, you know, whites control and that they're supreme and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No, that is not what I'm talking about. Because opportunity abounds for any American of any color, of any race, who applies themselves. We've seen countless examples of that. Now, I cannot help the fact, me, RWP, cannot help the fact, just like you can't, that statistically speaking, white people in this country, in the United States, happen to be the majority. Okay? Bug just flew right in my ear. I think he flew out too. So we can't help that. We can't help the fact too that statistically speaking, There are more crimes committed by certain demographics. There are more, there's more low-income living. There's more unwed mothers in certain demographics. I'm not calling these demographics out. I'm just pointing out the fact that there are statistics that are genuine and accurate and that actually exist that add to what these others would say, you know, are the root problem of everything, you know, because you whiteys this and that. So facts are facts. Stats are stats. Can people change? Absolutely. Can things change? Absolutely. Will things change? Without a doubt. They will continue to change. You know, many scholars speculate. I'm looking at the grill here. See how we're doing. Many scholars, people smarter than me, not that I'm a real smart guy, but, you know, people a lot smarter than me, all over the world, all over the country, many different think tanks, say that this country will be, that the white population will be the minority by like 2050. Okay, maybe that's true. I don't care, you know, and you shouldn't either. What we should care about is that whatever the population is, whatever it looks like, whatever color it is, that it be free, that we all be fair to one another. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about the equity that so many of these talking heads and mouthpieces are talking about these days. I'm not talking about we should all have exactly the same because we all live here. That is not at all what I'm talking about. But we should all have the same opportunities that, like, your parents had, your grandparents, and your grandparents before that. I know many, 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 personally, and you know, just through history and being well read, that people of all races and ethnicities in this country, some born here and some who immigrated here, both have made fantastic lives for themselves and their families and for generations to come. Have built businesses, have built empires, have done amazing things, have bettered themselves, have pulled themselves up out of gutters and you know, made great lives for themselves. Alternatively, I know people of all races and ethnicities, white included, affluent, from great neighborhoods with great schooling, with plenty of money to back them, with lots of opportunity, who have squandered and pissed away their opportunities, who are in jail, who are dead. Are there some things in our general system of society, governance even, in this country, that are flawed? Absolutely, without a doubt. Are there people who are racist? Sure. I mean, there are. Let's not kid ourselves. But are we as a country racist? No. Are we as a country free? No. And the reason why we're not free, and the reason why we're continuing to be less free and have fewer rights, and you have fewer decisions that you can make on your own as we approach this Independence Day, the reason that we're less independent, less free, and less likely to be going forward is because we have allowed identity politics, such as what I've been speaking on, to rule the day. And that's exactly what's going on. You know, there's a lot of phishing, Phishing, right? That's been going on for many years, really, but certainly in the internet age, you know, of the last couple of decades, for information about each and every one of us Americans. Corporations get it to you know, to put specific advertisements in our face, and government agencies use them to size a person up, or a group, or a family, or even a township or an area, whatever. Phishing, Phishing,
P-H-I-N-G, for information, gathering information. Phishing for men and women's information, so that they can design the world around those people, each of us, in a specific way, so that we see things in a certain way, so that we see things in the way they want us to see it, and not in the way that it really is if we were to open our eyes and notice. So I'm going to say that we need to be fishers, F-I-S-H-E-R-S, of men. As Christians, as people who believe, as I am, we need to not focus on what someone looks like, what their color is, what they have, what they don't have, and all of these other lies that are being told to you by the radical left, by the radical right, by everybody up the middle, by your government, by your neighbors, by everybody these days, by your children and your children's children here in a decade or so, because they're being brainwashed. This stuff is going on. Be careful, watch your kids. But we don't have to buy those lies, okay? They have fished, P-H-I-S-H, for our information for years to size us up, right? And to put us in a group so that we can other the other group, so that we can minimalize each other. But we need to be fishers, F-I-S-H, of men, and call people to Christ, because only through that will we all see the truth about us as individuals and collectively as a nation of people. Look, we all look different. We all think different. We all have different things we like, different things we're about, different traditions, all of that stuff. We white folks aren't afraid of immigrants, okay? We're not afraid of losing our white power in this country, all right? What we're afraid of, if I may, or at least what we're concerned about, not afraid of, is a small group of radicals who are set on destroying this country and turning it into, at best, communism, at worst, totalitarianism. Your skull under their bootism. We're more afraid and concerned about that. And what they're doing, what's going on across the board, everywhere you look, that's exactly where it's leading. So what are we celebrating this weekend on our Independence Day? What are we independent of? We can be independent thinkers. We can consider ourselves independent of their system, okay? And we can live that way, and we can love and show the love of Christ, and we can think for ourselves and understand the lies that are told in every place, on your television, in your texts, in your schools, and go against those lies. Tell your kids and teach those around you, first about the love of Christ, and then about how things really work, about how people really work, and why others would seek to control us. This is a train of thought video, just some ramblings. I hope they weren't ramblings. I hope it had a general point. But I do hope you guys enjoy this weekend with loved ones. Eat some good food. Hopefully the weather's nice for you. It's supposed to be beautiful around here. And I guess that's it. Speak to you later. I'm the Real World Prepper, RWP. And I'm going to close this with a couple of shots of just a little bit of peacefulness around the property. Thanks.
Target practice. And our little sometimes sad pond. And we go on here, we got little RWP swing, which I'm going to replace it way on back there. Trampoline, there's your chicken coop. There's your little doggy run. Let's go check out my fire. Oh, she's real close to being ready. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And I will tell you, happy Independence Day. God bless America, and God bless each and every one of y'all.